Hello, my name is James, and today for this video I will be talking about my identity over the years, my dysphoria, and the physical and mental effects of my transition. This is a way for me to try and organize my thoughts and possibly help or entertain whoever might be watching this. First, back in middle school, I identified as a lesbian. I was around 13 or 14 at the time. May 2016, I wrote a journal entry where I called myself one, and I don't feel like looking back to see if there were earlier entries, so at least age 13. I now have a boyfriend, so I think at the time it was just that I didn't know what being bisexual or pansexual was, and I was just generally confused about things. In June 2017, I got a very short and masculine haircut, and I ended up passing as a boy to basically everyone but my family. I dressed very masculine, and at the store I always bought more like boyish clothes from the men's section. By at least August 2017, I was 14 and identifying as gender fluid. I found out what being non-binary was, ironically, before understanding what being binary trans was. I think that this was part of me not quite understanding the difference between gender identity and gender expression. I would like to dress very feminine, but in a way where I can pass and exist as a boy. At the same time, I always had people around me insisting that I was a girl. I wasn't out yet at the time, so it wasn't deliberate misgendering, but I thought that sometimes maybe I could act like a girl. This ultimately was not true, but we're going through this chronologically. My dad used to make me go swimming, and somewhere in late 2017, early 2018, when I was 15, I bought a compression shirt that wasn't quite a binder that I wore everywhere in the place of a swimsuit or a bra. In February 2018, there was some confusion at an airport. I was in the line where they scan your luggage, and I was wearing the binder. My dad was still loading stuff on the conveyor belt when I went to walk through a scanner. They read me as male, as everyone did at this point, and asked me if I was smuggling something in the chest area. I was very confused and scared of my dad catching up and finding out, as he was oblivious to my gender identity. And I said, "You mean my boobs?" to answer the question brought by the TSA person. This saved me from getting pat down. In early 2020, I sat down to stop procrastinating and think about my gender. I did research and found out about HRT, hormone replacement therapy, and about being a binary trans guy. While I had thought that I was non-binary, it turns out that that wasn't for me. I still think that I might be a little bit non-binary, but I more closely identify as a guy. A bit feminine maybe, but still as a guy. I came out to everyone as male early last year in 2020. Through my mom, I got 3 GC2B binders. 2 of them were normally sized, and the third one was a bit larger so that I could exercise in it. Unfortunately, the bigger one now fits perfectly. It's not the binders that change size either, and I'm not happy about this. I ordered a new one from Spectrum, which I heard about. It has not arrived yet, but I may make a video in the future comparing the different binders. In September of last year, I went to Planned Parenthood to get HRT via informed consent. I was 16, which is the minimum age to get it that way at that location. I had my mom's permission as well, which was needed. We went there and spent a few hours answering questions and filling out forms. Then I was asked what type I wanted the HRT in, and I said I didn't care so long as it wasn't needles, because I do not like needles. I was given the option of testosterone patches, so I went with that. They drew some of my blood so they could monitor it to make sure that I'm okay while I'm on T. That was September 12th, 2020, and I was written a prescription, which I picked up on the same day. I am 17 now and will be most likely posting this video on the same day I record it. I am still on testosterone and it's been great. At the 3-month mark, I had to go back for blood work and to refill the prescription. They were unable to draw any blood, but I did get a refill and I had to go to a lab at a different location. I plan on increasing my dosage at the 6-month mark. My father, who I have not lived with since last March, has been overall unsupportive and frequently misgenders me. I don't spend much time with him. My mom has been very supportive, and she listens to me when I explain things, which is fantastic. My grandmother on my dad's side isn't supportive, but I think she is more confused than she claims I am. She tried to explain to me that I can't be a man because I have gone shopping and enjoyed it. She also heavily implied that I should become a pregnant high school dropout at 17, so I will not listen to her opinion. My other grandma, who I have not talked to much, is slightly confused about this, but supportive. She now has all grandsons, which is cool, I guess. My school has been supportive. My name and gender was changed and everything, and I use the men's restroom, though some of my classmates continue to misgender me. For the future, I plan on seeing a gender therapist and getting top surgery. I don't know exactly when that will happen, though. Over the years, my presentation has changed, as I assume it will continue to. As for binding, I already mentioned my history with binders. I will continue with what happened earlier, though. When I was even younger, and around when I first started growing a need for bras, I was excited about it. I was then suddenly less excited. I didn't quite know why, though, at the time. I wanted to go shirtless sometimes, but couldn't. I always bought the tightest possible sports bras. I didn't entirely know why, but I always preferred whichever bra was too small or would make me the absolute flattest. I eventually figured out that it was because I hated having boobs. Sometimes I wouldn't even wear a bra. I would just wear layers of shirts and a hoodie to hide them. At some point, when I was early on in questioning, I can't remember when, I talked to this awful therapist that I was forced to see. She was one of the first people I came out to. She told me I was being influenced by the media and that the reason I was upset was because I don't actually care about these things. She also told me that it's perfectly normal for girls to hate having breasts. Comment down below if you are a girl that despises your boobs, or if you only get emotional when you don't care about what it is you're talking about. Needless to say, she sent me back into the closet for a while. This was supposed to be mainly a tea update video, but I've gotten sidetracked by all this other stuff I wanted to talk about. I have been taking testosterone via these testosterone patches. This is what a patch looks like. The back peels off, and as I showed earlier, this is what it looks like when it's on your skin. I can just stick it anywhere on my body, usually my upper arms, my upper legs, or my torso, and it sticks on like a band-aid. In the middle, I guess that's where the T is. I change them daily. I remove the old one and put on the new one before and after I take my evening shower. I would like to say the various changes that I've noticed, they are not quite chronological. However, if you would like to see my transition playlist, please check the description. Bottom growth is one of the first things I've noticed, but I'm not about to go into more detail about that. I started smelling slightly different, but I am now used to it. Deodorant is useful, and I take daily showers, which isn't a new thing. I always took daily showers. I've been getting progressively more and more acne. I really need a better skincare product. Hang on. I want to see if my facial hair will show. It's not going to show up. It has been. Anyway, that's another point. That's another point on this. Yeah, that's actually the next point. The next point on it. I'm organized, I swear. My facial hair, well, it's definitely not like a lot. I would say at the rate it's been growing over like the past few months, I would say by the end of the year, it's probably going to be something that I can actually be happy about. But I would just say, like, based on the rate at which it's been, like, slowly progressing, I think I'm on to having actual facial hair in the future. My voice has been taking its time, but it has been dropping, as you would notice if you were watching the playlist. It's definitely deeper than it was the previous video. I've noticed that I've gotten larger, which I have... which I saw when I was watching the older videos of myself. I've been getting larger, and I've decided to include this because my diet and exercise hasn't really changed much, so I assume that that's mostly the testosterone, or it might be something else, but I decided to include that in this video. I pass more often now, and overall I feel a lot happier. It's not as if testosterone has cured my depression or anything. I have other medication to deal with that, but I have gotten a lot happier now that I've been on T for so long. My period, I don't think I mentioned this in the previous videos, but immediately after I started getting T, the weekend after, around that, I got my period really bad, and then it just went away, and I haven't had it since. I'd like to stand up, and only because in the previous videos I showed my legs, and I would like to just like body comparison. Dysphoria is a weird thing, and it's what I will be talking about in this section. Most obviously, I hate my boobs. I plan on getting top surgery in the future. I really want them gone. I don't have that much bottom dysphoria, which I think some people seem to make it out like that's the main thing you need. I do have a packer that I wear sometimes, but like that's not really what I'm really concerned about. My voice and hair dysphoria are slowly fading. Um, like not my hair, not my hairline, although my hairline has gotten more square, which I forgot to mention. Um, but like facial hair, body hair, like having it thicker and having my voice be deeper, like a lot of my dysphoria has gone away thanks to that. I'm finally able to recognize myself and see myself in the mirror. Before T, I disassociated very frequently, and while that's not entirely gone, just being able to acknowledge myself in a photo or in the mirror, just properly being able to see myself while on testosterone, that's probably one of the best things about it. I look forward to a day in my transition when I can be very clearly identified as male, having a flat chest, having an actual like mustache to show off, and being able to dress in more feminine ways that wouldn't make people think I'm a girl and instead just think I'm a guy who maybe wants to wear a skirt sometime. And I think that's like it's kind of a weird thing to try and explain to some people, is because like the way I want my body to be and the way I want to dress are kind of different. I don't know, contradictory, but there's a difference between a girl wearing a dress and a boy wearing a dress. It's just like one of them would cause, like, I guess for me, if I was perceived to be a girl wearing a dress, like a lot of discomfort and dysphoria. But if I could very properly be able to be seen as who I am, I look forward to being able to do that. And I really want top surgery to help achieve that. And in general, just being more comfortable in my body and being seen as who I am. And I think that's all for this video. Comment, share, subscribe, etc. And I hope you stick around to see the next video. Goodbye.